guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my podcast. So this is a safe space for me where I share my thoughts on issues concerning me, and if they resonate with you, that's amazing. And this week I want to talk on a conversation that I had with my friends sometime last week, and it's centered around conflict resolution, navigating that amongst relationships, be it romantic or with friends or with family. I obviously have friends. In fact, I can count on one hand how many friends that I have are really closely knitted to me. And I was having this conversation with two of them. And the conversation came about when one of them asked, "What is our take on Malice?" And it was about a romantic relationship. I think the guy had ghosted the babe after they had one altercation. My second friend used my relationship with her as a core example, and that is why I am encouraged to talk about this. And she noted that when we started staying together, because she has been my flatmate for a while, one of the core issues that we had was we never had a way of resolving conflict. Based on her personality, it's the kind of person that whenever conflict happens, she wants to resolve right there and then, even when the emotions are high. She wants to have bullet points, talk about it, let's trash it out right there and then, right? Let's find a way to resolve it and move on. Whereas for me as a person, I'm the kind of person that want to stay back, take 1 or 2 days, process it, then come back. Sometimes, in most cases, I wouldn't even come back and say, "Oh, this is what you did to me," right? Or "This is what I felt was wrong." I probably just come back and move on with my life. I come back smiling and move on. She had a problem with it because she felt that I was malicious, or I was becoming malicious, for lack of better words, and she just couldn't understand how someone would not be expressive with their emotions. Whereas for me, I just felt like I didn't have the courage. The word is not courage. I rather not initiate the conversation when I'm high. So I have made her understand that I am of two extreme. I am on extreme side. Whenever I'm high, it's high. Whenever I'm low, it's low. So there's no middle point for me. And whenever I'm in one of the emotions, which is anger, because I know that I'm on the extreme. So whenever I'm angry, I'm really angry, and I realized that one of the way to kind of manage that is for me to go quiet, because if I speak in anger, I become emotionally dead. So to curtail my anger or how I process, I rather just stay back. And because I stay back, it gives me enough time to think about things through. And sometimes it can be in my head, like, why were you even angry in the first place, right? So I tend not to come back to this person after I process it. I just move on. For her, she would rather want to talk about it and have a bullet points, you know. So there was a clash of personality traits in that case. So we spoke at length, and and I was like, okay, over the years, how were you able to manage me as a person? Because we are still flatmates. She was like, oh, she came to understand that this person is not kind of, that is me. I wouldn't express my emotions immediately. So she realizes that it's not that I don't want to talk about it or I don't want to address the issue. It's just I'm not like her that would want to come immediately. So she was able to find a middle ground for us to live together, essentially, and work around our conflicts. My take is this, because I know over the years I've been working on myself, and over the years, being emotionally intelligent, being emotionally available is one of if not the important part of one's personality or self-development, because it's not necessarily for your benefit. In fact, actually, I take that back. It's for your benefit and also for the benefit of others. I believe that when people are venturing into new relationships, they never talk about conflict resolution. Like, you can talk about anything, but they don't talk about conflict. I never think I've had a conversation where someone is coming and they're like, "Oh, how do we resolve conflicts?" Right? But it's so important. It's so fundamental to relationship, because a lot of people we are different. Like, we are distinctly different. We talk different. We think different. We interpret information differently. We act differently. Definitely, it is important that we talk about conflict resolution, because something can happen, and because I am different from you, I would react to it quite differently. Telling my friend in our conversation that because I was not emotionally available at a point in my life, I did not care about the feedback or the feelings of anyone that I got in conflict with, right, at that time. So when it got to the point where I was outgrowing that phase in my life, then I started becoming emotionally available. So my take on this is, one of the strengths of relationship is how we communicate, is how you resolve conflicts. And I think in resolving conflicts, you not only consider yourself, but you also consider the other person. So learn the love language of the other party. And it's not just romantic, it cuts across every aspect of our lives, from friends to family to professional, right? Understand them, understand the way they want to communicate, or they want to be communicated with. Find a middle ground, a common ground, that both of you understand that this is me coming out to try and resolving whatever issue. Learn to communicate effectively and efficiently. A lot of times we do not know how to communicate. I have also been a victim of such. I'm terrible at communicating. I'd rather just go into my shell and just be quiet. So, but learn to communicate. I feel like if a lot of people communicate well, a lot of issues wouldn't have happened. I have lost relationships due to my inability to communicate. I have lost relationship due to my inability to be emotionally available. I've lost relationship going into my shell. But if we allow ourselves to be emotionally intelligent, if we learn to do that, we realize that we would save our relationships. We will be much more happier in our relationship. We'll have a stronger bonds in our relationship. I remember in the conversation, she was like, "Oh, the unis of now, when it comes, like, she's so much better than how I know her before, because now Eunice can come and tell you, oh, I didn't like what you did to me, right? Or she can tell you, oh, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. Or she can even come and apologize. And it was, to me, I didn't know how much I've grown until she said it. But I knew that it took some intentionality on my part to work on these things, even when no one was talking about it to me. So I needed to work on it on myself. I needed to be intentional about communicating how I felt. I'm not totally there yet, but I am a work in progress. Like I said, my life is a work in progress. I'm not perfect, but I feel like I've come a long way to be emotionally available, emotionally intelligent, to be able to communicate how I feel. And the other side of resolution is you listening. I'm not talking about you hearing. you actually listening to what that person is trying to say. Because we interpret information differently, or because we only want to see our side, we tend not to listen to what the other person is saying. So if you want to do right by people, or if you want to do the right thing is to listen when you're trying to resolve a conflict. In as much as you want to express your own opinions, talk about how you feel, you should also be able to sit back and listen and gather the information the person is trying to pass across. That way you can understand where that person is coming from and see if it makes sense, essentially. Then you can resolve conflict. So I think for conflict resolution is not one win, one lose. I think it should always be a win-win situation. Anyways, that is all I have today. I would come your way again soon. I hope this resonates with you and I've been able to express myself in a way that you would understand. So do take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your day.